You've probably heard of ChatGPT. It's kind of like the go-to name when people think of AI chatbots. And yeah, that's super popular for a reason. But here's the thing: it's not the only one out there. And depending on what you're trying to do, it might not even be the best fit, if you will. Now, before we get started, don't get me wrong. ChatGPT is great. I use it. It's great for general stuff. But sometimes you need a tool that's built for a specific task, something that is more focused, and that is where other AI chatbots come in. I've been using ChatGPT since it first dropped, and I've been deep in the AI space for a while now, writing about it, testing tools, making YouTube videos, figuring out what works and what doesn't. And as I've tried a lot of these alternatives, so today I want to share my top ChatGPT alternatives that are actually worth checking out. Let's get into it. Before we get started, what actually makes a great ChatGPT alternative? Well, one of the things that makes ChatGPT so good is that it just works. The Apple philosophy just works. And you don't have to phrase things in a super technical way or use the right keywords to get to understand you. And you can talk to it like a regular person, and it will usually give you a very solid response. Sometimes the answers are here and there, but yeah. And sure, the more clear you are, the better the answers you're going to get, but that's just how communication works in general. I don't think that's limited to AI chatbots. So for any chatbot to be a real alternative to ChatGPT, you have to have some magic, right? It should feel easy and natural to use, like you're having a conversation, not typing commands into a machine. But more than that, to be better than ChatGPT in some way, it has to check a few boxes. First, it has to do something better than ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is one of the best all-round chatbot, right? And that is why these tools had to shine in specific areas, whether that's coding, summarizing, creative writing, or whatever else. And second, it has to be easy to use. Some of the coolest AI tools out there require to run models on your own on computer or mess with cloud setups. And yeah, that's powerful, but for beginners, that's also a headache. And everything on this list is something that you can just sign up and start using. So no tech degree is required. And third, it needs to be available. A lot of tools are in beta, or they are like, you may have seen invite only, and they put you on a waiting list for weeks. That's not good. I only include tools that you can go and use right now. And last but definitely not least, it has to work reliably. Some of the tools might look cool on paper, but crash every other time that you use them. The ones in the list, they have been stable and dependable in my testing. And yes, some of these tools are constantly evolving. So, some of the details might be outdated by the time you are watching this video, but I think that's a good thing because they are getting better all the time. So I'm confident that every tool on this playlist, video, whatever you want to call it, is great at what it does. And if anything, it's only going to improve. So the next one on the list is very close to my heart, not just because I work at Civo. They're not paying me to make this video. And the real reason also why it's really close to my heart is because I'm really big on data privacy, right? So this one's especially for folks who care about privacy. While most of the AI tools are kind of vague about what happens to your data behind the scenes, RelaxAI by Civo is all about putting you in control. So it's built with privacy and data protection at core. So if that is something that you are worried about, it might be your go-to. So here's the deal. RelaxAI keeps all of your data in the UK. It's hosted by a UK company, Civo, in a UK data center, and it's subject to UK laws. It's being rolled out to other countries very, very shortly. So make sure you check out relax.ai and civo.com, Civo blogs as well. So that basically means that your data isn't bouncing around across borders or potentially exposed to foreign surveillance laws. You stay fully compliant and protected, and you know exactly what's happening with your information at all times. Plus, we're never going to train the models on your data without your explicit permission. And if you ever want to delete your data or withdraw consent, you can do it directly from your dashboard. It's very simple and transparent. I want to say that it's also, now that I think about it, it's not just about privacy, right? It's also a solid AI assistant. Like I use it every day, and it runs on Meta's latest model with its own custom fine tuning on top. So it's fast, accurate, and really sharp in conversation. So what can it do? What are some of the features? Smart natural conversations, as I mentioned, the criteria are great for customer support and even voice assistants. Advanced reasoning, it can connect dots, make decisions, and help you to solve complex problems. It offers sentiment analysis as well, so you can monitor social media or reviews and actually understand how your customers are feeling. You can also do code generation from small snippets to full-on applications. You can also upload documents, like you can drop in your PDFs or text files, and it's going to put out summaries, trends, and all the key information. There's also live web search, so it can look up real-time info to keep you up to date and give you better answers. And those are some of the features, but you can test it out yourself and play around with it. By the way, I will leave the links of all of these tools in the description below. Now, pricing starts around 10 quid or 10 pounds per user per month for UK, which is already pretty competitive, especially if you're scaling. And we also offer a guaranteed service level agreement, which is kind of rare in this space. Yeah, as I mentioned, more countries are rolling out very shortly, so keep an eye out on that. And yeah, if you need something powerful but with a serious focus on privacy, RelaxAI by Civo is definitely worth checking out. Now next up we have Zapier's AI tools. So these come in two powerful flavors. There's Zapier agents and Zapier chatbots. Now both are built with automation in mind, and they're designed to save you a lot of time without needing to write a single line of code, right? And Zapier agents are, you can say, mini AI teammates that you can train to handle repetitive tasks like summarizing data. Let's say you have new leads, so checking new leads or just sending some updates. And they work across 7,000 apps if you have used the Zapier ecosystem. So for example, whether you're using Google Sheets, Notion, HubSpot, Slack, or Zendex, these agents can jump in and start doing the grunt work for you. Now you can chat directly with them, kind of like ChatGPT, but with the bonus of automations happening behind the scenes. For example, if you get a new lead on Facebook, the agent can instantly summarize it and also ping your sales team in Slack automatically every single time. On the other side, Zapier chatbots let you to create fully customizable, as the name suggests, AI-powered chatbots that live on your website or as a shareable link. So you can train them using your own content, like website pages, help docs, or Zapier tables if you're using that. So they answer with real knowledge about your business. Then you can personalize their tone, the branding, and logic to collect info during the chat. All because it's all built on Zapier. So every interaction can trigger automated flow and automated follow-ups, like sending emails, updating your CRM, or anything else you need to keep the workflow going. There's a free version to try it out, and the premium plan runs around $20 a month for the chatbots and $50 for Zapier agents. The next tool is Perplexity. Perplexity. It's a tongue twister for me. Perplexity. Technically, yes, it's a ChatGPT alternative, but it's actually aiming to more like replace your search engine rather than your AI buddy. So think of it like a mashup between ChatGPT and Google, but without the weird AI generated recipe drama that Google has been dealing with lately. I want to say a little hot take over here. I have been using Perplexity more than Google. Like if I want to search something or research something, I just use Perplexity. I really like the tool. They're not paying me to say this, by the way, people. If you think it's a paid promotion or anything, absolutely not. I've never spoken to their team. But if they're listening, great job. So yeah, this is not a paid promo. um, But it works kind of like a regular chatbot. You ask it stuff and it responds. But the key difference is that it's way more focused on being accurate and up to date. It pulls in a ton of resources, way more than ChatGPT, and even lets you choose where it looks. So you can have, it search the whole internet or narrow it down to just, let's say, academic papers or YouTube or Reddit, things like that. And yeah, if you're doing more technical stuff as well, then yeah, you can use it for research for that as well. It also lets you pick which AI model you want to use. Many tools allow that. So instead of being logged into one, um, like you are with ChatGPT, for example, you can switch between GPT-4, Claude 3, and even models built on Meta's Llama 3. Now that is super useful if you're trying to get a different perspective or just want the best model for a specific task. One thing that I personally like is that it lets you organize your searches into collections. So instead of a cluttered sidebar full of random chats that you get, you can keep things tidy and group your research and come back to it later. It still does all the standard ChatGPT stuff like writing emails and answering questions, generating images and stuff like that. Now, in most cases, it's not as quite good as ChatGPT when it comes to pure writing or creativity. So I use it mainly for like research and just searching stuff. But lately, I've been focused on using RelaxAI, which also does quite a well job on research for research purposes. But regarding Perplexity, if your main focus is finding accurate, up-to-date information on the internet, it's a very, very solid pick. Pricing wise, there's a free version that people can use, and there's also Perplexity Pro, which you can use for I think $20 a month. Now, next on the list is Google Gemini, which, if you remember, used to be called Bard. And back when it first launched, it kind of felt like the faster web connected cousin of ChatGPT. But now that ChatGPT has caught up in a lot of ways, especially with the web access and speed, Gemini's biggest selling point really comes down to one thing: Google. So if you're someone who lives inside the Google's ecosystem, like Docs, Gmail, Drive, YouTube, Maps, then Gemini for those services just makes a ton of sense. It's got native integrations with all of these apps, so you can ask it to pull something from your inbox, summarize a document from your drive, or even grab info about a flight or hotel without jumping through hoops. You can do some of that stuff in ChatGPT with the plugins and workarounds, but with Gemini, it's basically plug and play. Just click and it works. And Google's leaning into this hard. They're starting to bake Gemini directly into Chrome and Android, which means that soon it'll be right there in your browser or on your phone, ready to go whenever you need it. It's sort of there already, I think, in the new Pixels, or I'm gonna have to research a little bit on that. But I've been seeing it in my dashboard and my Google Workspace accounts as well. Now, to be fair, ChatGPT still has the edge when it comes to things like advanced data analysis or voice capabilities, and it gives you more room for customization. But if you're already deep in the Google world, Gemini is probably the most seamless option out there. All right, let's talk about Claude, which honestly is one of my personal favorites on the list. So if you're looking for a chatbot that feels more human, this is the one. Claude's responses tend to sound a lot more natural right out of the gate, and the tone, the phrasing, even the way it reacts, it often just feels a little bit more thoughtful and empathetic than ChatGPT. Now, some people really like that. It makes the whole experience feel less robotic, and Claude was built by Anthropic. That rhymed. Anyway, so Anthropic, a company that was started by a bunch of ex-OpenAI folks, and they've taken a pretty strong stance on building AI that's helpful, harmless, and honest. That means that it's designed with a bunch of built-in safety rules, like answering in a way that wouldn't offend a child, or steering clear of anything potentially harmful. Basically, it's less likely to spiral into weird or problematic territory. And while all the tools on the list try to be safe, Anthropic takes it a little bit more seriously. It's a nice bonus if you're concerned about how AI handles sensitive topics or just want something that's a little bit more grounded. But that's not just about the tone, you know. Claude also stands out for more practical reasons. For example, it has a 200,000 token context window, which is huge. That's roughly, to put that into context, 15 150,000 words, basically a whole book. So if you're working with long documents or needed to keep track of a ton of information at once, Claude is amazing for that. ChatGPT's max content with GPT-4o is 1,000, no, 128,000 tokens. So Claude gives you quite a bit more breathing room. All in all, if you want a chatbot that feels a bit more human and can handle long, complex tasks, Claude's definitely one to check out. All right, let's talk about Microsoft Copilot, which is formerly known as Bing Chat. Now, since Microsoft is a major investor in OpenAI, it is not surprising that Copilot and ChatGPT are both powered by the same models under the hood. They even share the same web search backbone, Bing. But the experience of using Copilot versus ChatGPT is pretty different. The key thing with Copilot is integration. It's baked right into the Microsoft Edge. So if you're someone who lives in that browser or in Microsoft's tools, Copilot just feels, what's the word I'm looking for, smoother. And you don't have to jump between apps. It's right there in the sidebar, ready to help out while you're browsing, writing, or researching. It's also a bit more structured when it comes to pulling in info. Like Gemini, it's better at citing resources clearly, and it can even include visuals directly in its responses. You'll often see suggestions for what to ask next, which keeps the flow going without you needing to come up with the perfect prompt every time. And now ChatGPT can do a lot of this stuff as well, but it usually takes a few extra steps, or you have to add on plugins or custom GPTs to get that same level of interaction or integration. So if you're already in the Microsoft ecosystem and just want more seamless in-browser AI assistant, Copilot is a great choice. It's especially useful for research, summarizing web content, or just speeding up your workflow without ever leaving your browser tab. Since we're talking about big tech companies, next we have got Meta AI. Let's be real upfront. Meta AI isn't as powerful as ChatGPT, especially if you're using ChatGPT Plus. It's not even close. But here's the thing, Meta AI is free, and when you compare the free versions, it actually holds its own in some pretty interesting ways. The big advantage with Meta AI is integration, not with productivity tools or browsers, but with the apps most of us use every day. Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger. You can literally chat with Meta AI right inside those platforms. Like if you're a group chat and want to quickly look something up or ask a question, you can just call on Meta AI without leaving the app. That is super handy. It also shows up in some cool ways, like popping up in Facebook posts when you want to learn more about something, or being accessible directly from the search bar. And don't worry, it only sees the messages you send to it, not your private convos. Don't quote me on that, okay? Now, in terms of raw capability, it can't do the advanced data crunching or customizable GPT style workflows that ChatGPT can, but it does have a fun party trick, free image generation, and it can even animate the images it makes. I've tested it, it's not flawless, but for something built right into your socials, it's actually pretty cool. So if you're not looking to spend $20 a month and you mostly want a quick, casual AI to chat with while you're on Instagram or WhatsApp, Meta AI is a pretty convenient option. All right, let's wrap it up with Jasper, which is hands down the best ChatGPT alternative if you are in marketing. Now, to be clear, this one's not for everyone. If you're not doing marketing work, Jasper probably isn't the tool for you. But if you are in that world, it's a game changer. Now, where ChatGPT is more of a general purpose AI, you can use it for anything from coding to, I don't know, bedtime stories. Jasper is super focused on marketing and content creation. And because of that, it's got a ton of built-in tools that makes life a little bit easier. Instead of you having to craft the perfect prompt, Jasper walks you through it. It gets dozens of templates for stuff like email campaigns, product descriptions, blog posts, social content, you name it. So if you're not, let's say mm, you're not starting from scratch every time. Say you want to write a blog post. It's going to ask you for the topic, your target audience, key points, even a call to action. Then it builds the post around that. Now with ChatGPT, you'd have to manually feed all those details in unless you're using a custom GPT that is designed for that job. It also has a chat interface if you prefer the back and forth style, plus tools like an enhanced prompt button and a whole library of ready to use prompt ideas. So if you ever feel stuck, it gives you that extra push. So yeah, if marketing is your thing and you are tired of wrestling with the prompts, Jasper is built for you. So yeah, ChatGPT is great, but as you've seen, it's definitely not the only game in town. Whether you're looking for better integration with your favorite tools, more human-like responses, tighter privacy controls, or just a chatbot that nails a specific job, there's something out there that might actually suit you better. The best part, you don't have to pick just one. Most of these tools have free versions, so you can test them out and see what fits your workflow. Let me know in the comments which one you're using or if there's a great alternative that I missed. If you found this helpful, give it a like, maybe subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.